So to be as honest and open as possible, we need to chat because in the last 2 weeks since Christmas, the crypto markets have radically shifted, and how I'm personally making money and how I'm recommending close friends and family to make as much money as possible, both in the long and short term. And I'm going to give you strategies for both these in this video. I'm giving different advice than I gave 2 weeks ago. And I believe the advice I'm giving now is way more powerful. And if you don't update your software and how you're operating, I don't think you're going to make as much money as you can. So really important video, very honest video, very transparent, sort of been on my mind for about a week now. I'm excited to share this with you. Up front, I'm going to get my call to actions on what I offer out the way so we can just connect one-to-one. You know, I'm not trying to sell you anything going on. This is where I will try to sell you. We sell a whale tracker. Inside the whale tracker, we track the portfolios and the wallets and the Twitters of massive crypto influencers who can move markets like crazy. We give you a buy alert when they buy. We give you a sell alert when they sell. We give you tweet alerts when they tweet about important ticker symbols. The link to that is in the description below if you're not already in. The second thing that we have and we created and I'm really loving and we're growing it together as a community is this guy here behind me, Archie. He's the fastest and safest way to trade tokens on the Solana blockchain. You can do it all within your phone inside the Telegram app. Beautiful user interface. If you want to trade Solana, meme coins, or any coin in Solana, use Archie. Totally free to download and use. And we just charge a small fee when we make a transaction for you. Okay, with that out the way, let's sit down, connect, pour some hot cocoa, and really open up. Because I'm going to start here. Alex Becker. We grew our channel on Alex Becker. He has one of the biggest brands and biggest influencers in crypto. And when we make a video about Alex Becker, it does 3 to 4 times better than anybody else. And all the comments, oh, you're obsessed with Alex Becker. It's like, yeah, a little bit when we get 4 times the amount of views and a lot of people interested. But his recent video on YouTube had 369,000 views in a day. He talked about the 13 crypto coins that were 15x in 2025, urgent AF. If I'm giving you my honest feedback, and I love Becker, I've always been a big fan of Becker. I was actually in his mastermind back in the ecom days, back in about 2018. So big fan of Becker. But this video and the way that he is handling the crypto market at the moment is feeling a little bit old school and a little bit slow. Let me give you some examples why. Well, the cryptos that were in this video, a lot of people try to buy in before Becker's video drops, before he tweets about them to get that Becker pump. But I went through every single token that he talked about and barely any of them pumped, and some of them went backwards. And the interesting thing here too, and we talked about this on the channel a little bit, I feel like Alex Becker's energy has shifted. Where in the last bull market, he was talking about, if you don't get in, you're stupid. He's the golden KOL, which he still says now and then. But even look at his 2024-2025 investments and advisory board. It's 2 pages of stipulations that he advises that you don't get in and he's going to dump in you at some point. Recently, he tweeted out a non-satire post talking about how you must get out of crypto and how you must take gains. You know, he is still bullish. He says he's still bullish, but he's not that arrogant, cocky guy who's like, this is going to $1 billion, this is going to $3 billion, and tokens are doing 5 to 10x's off his YouTube videos. This is a good example of it. This is Vert AI, which is featured heavily inside of his video. And you can see these are day candles. His video came out a day ago. So you can see it's like down, even though it was featured heavily in his video. I'm going to give you some reasons why, and again, what I'm doing differently to trade and make as much money as possible. To give him some more credit, Vert AI he has talked about before, and he did talk about a lot of tokens, so it sort of gets bloated and the potency erodes as you scale horizontally with the amount of tokens you talk about in a video. This token here, Taobot, did a little bit better, which this was Becker's video in here, going from 54 cents running up to 81 cents. This was a token that he's never talked about before, which are normally stronger, have more potency based on him putting out YouTube videos and talking about it. But going back to that Vert AI chart here, even though it's down since Becker talked about it, what is this over here? What is this massive 1, 2, 3, 4 days where it went from 20 mil market cap to a 90 mil market cap? They're the gains that we want. Well, interesting enough, this first candle here was Ellio Trades getting in, and Ellio Trades often tends to front run Alex Becker. This second candle here, this is you guys in the degenerate across the Rubicon community and the degenerates inside out in a circle copy trading Ellio Trades. And you can see here, this was the notification that went out inside out in a circle, talking about Vert AI and how Ellio Trades mentioned the new project, sitting at a $45 million market cap. We also put a second alert out inside out in a circle about Vert AI, and that contributed to these graphs. And if you're skeptical that this was the across the Rubicon degenerates, I'm going to show you about 6 more examples, and we're going to talk about how to play this to actually come out ahead in this cycle. So this here is Ellio Trades' YouTube channel. He put out this video 4 days ago. I watched the whole thing. I broke it down. I found one coin in there that I really liked. That was a new sort of mention from someone like Ellio. And This is what happened. This is when Ellio Trades put out his YouTube video featuring the token called Play, which is a gaming infrastructure. They're sort of in the AI agent niche as well. Video came out about it 2 days ago on our channel, which I'm about to show in a second. You can see Ellio pumped this from down here. His video came out, it did well, it had a decent pullback, but you know, that's a nice little pump from Ellio, especially because he had a lot of tokens in that video. However, our video yesterday, the Across the Rubicon Absolute Degenerate community pumped this thing from about 49 cents all the way past $1. Your guys' pump was way bigger than Ellio's community when he put out his own video. And you can see the view difference is crazy too. 149,000 views versus 31,000 views. And I put it down to the fact that when you watch a video from Across the Rubicon, our whole thesis is that we are beating the mainstream. We're ahead of people who are coming behind you. Where when Ellio puts that and when Becker puts out these videos now, they're almost coming to the point where they're short-term exit liquidity. I'm going to talk about short-term exit liquidity again, and I'm going to give you the strategies. Don't worry, I just want to go through a few more examples with you. This is desync, and I'm not going to go through the exact timing here, but we put our videos out at 4 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And if you go into these charts and you want to dig into the minute that these go down, I'm about to show you 5 examples, you'll see the strong correlation with the Across the Rubicon Degenerate community pumping these things up. And of course, we pump them up with the face of Becker, with the face of Ellio, because we know that their community is behind it. So it's sort of like a joint focused laser beam that absolutely torches charts at the moment. And honestly, guys, I'm impressed at this effect that you're having. Have a look at this effect. $263 million market cap this thing turned around since the video. Now, again, there's other variables going in, but that seemed to be the turning point on the channel. $263 million US dollars, up 100% since that video. Also in that video, we mentioned Palm, which went up 123% over the same time and $65 million in the market cap. This one's a little looser, but this was the 4 a.m. Go check the charts, go do the deep research yourself if you want. This was SBX, where we bought $30,000 inside Archibot. We're not promoting Archibot here, we did that at the start, but he helped us buy the 30,000 Australian dollars worth of SBX right here. Go look at the 4 a.m. that it was launched. This thing went up $622 million market cap, up 71% since that video. Again, there's a lot of other variables. I'm not saying it's just you and I, but we're having a really strong effect on these tokens. This one here was one of our better performing videos. Talk about how Becker just signed on to Reploy AI. Again, CryptoGo John called this at a 5 mil market cap. The alert went out in our Telegram at a $10 million market cap. So we're talking about it way back here, which also had a really big effect on it. But our video on YouTube came out at about a $65 million market cap, pushed it up 113% at its all-time high, 72 million US dollars. And guys, the big brains and the best traders in the world and the biggest influencers in the world are aware of this. Let's have a look at CryptoZack LA, who has been early to a lot of AI tokens. He says this very clearly: one wallet buys and everyone apes. A 3x in less than 15 minutes. This is the state of the trenches at the moment. Truly insane. Have a feeling this coin goes to $500 million, considering it just went from 30 mil to $100 million in a very quick amount of time. Now, everyone in the comments here is saying that this is Gatsby token, which I actually don't think it is. It could be. Literally everyone in the comments says it's Gatsby, but I'm gonna show you the Gatsby chart because it's the exact same thing. You can see this mega candle here. This is the Gatsby chart, which went off inside of our wallet tracker last night. Why? Because Crypto God John made a purchase with this token. Now you can see it went from $20 million market cap up to about a $56 million market cap where it's accumulating right now. I'm not telling you to go buy this. I'm not telling you to get into the inner circle to get the alerts down here. What I am telling you is these guys who move markets know that their wallets are tracked now. They know that there's people like us who are watching every one of their moves and are going to jump in as soon as they jump in. In fact, here's the wallet alert that went out inside our whale tracker of John buying Gatsby, and he bought $46,000 worth of Gatsby. John has dozens of wallets and he knows which ones are tracked and which ones are not. We've seen John buy tokens in untracked wallets when he doesn't want that to spike the chart straight away, and then buy more of the token or buy other tokens in the tracked wallets because he knows people are going to ape in after him. We've also seen, and fair enough, him put the token name into his group first and then buy in a known wallet because they know the crazy effect of everyone aping in after them. And you might be thinking, wow, this is some giant Ponzi scheme where if you're late to buy in, you're just becoming exit liquidity. And if you're early to buy in, you're just going to steal everyone's money. Yeah, that's exactly what this is. What did you think crypto was? None of this tech is warranting billions and billions of dollars market cap. They don't have this revenue. It's not vaporware. They're working on products and you're betting on future value, but people just want to get in and 10x their money and get out and move on to the next hot token. And so there's strategies that you can use to make money over the short term. There's also strategies you can use to make money over the long term. I'm going to give you those two strategies. And in fact, you can see Becker's tokens as a longer term play. If things like Destra, if things like PAL, if things like OXO get listed on Binance, well, then we've got a massive mountain. We're like a molehill. We're buying and selling on each other sort of thing. And some people making 10Xs and some people making 2Xs and some people losing all their money. Well, it doesn't really matter what's going on in the molehill if you know there's a serious mountain, Mount Fuji, coming in behind us, which is all the retail money that is going to be flooding into these tokens once they get listed on Binance. That is the Alex Becker play. That is a longer term play, because if Decent gets listed, all the AI tokens below it will 5 and 10 and 15x, and we're not each other's exit liquidity anymore, but the mainstream is going to be everyone's exit liquidity, just like it is in every single cycle. And that sort of seems like the play when it comes to Alex Becker, because even the new tokens that he's signing with, unfortunately, he doesn't get the potency that he used to have, because everybody is knowing that he's signing with these tokens and they're putting it out on their socials, we're putting it out on our socials, and the word gets out to 50%, 70% of people before Becker even has a chance to open his mouth and say, I've got a new partnership, I've got a new advisory role. And in fact, by the time he does say that, the people who are buying in are getting sold on by the people who bought in on the rumor. Now, on the other side of this, that's the longer term play. Wait for the big mountain of mainstream people to come in and buy all of our bags for hire. And we can all just shake hands and celebrate and buy Ferraris because we're not taking each other's money back and forward. On the opposite side of the spectrum, and I'm going to give you some long-term tokens as well in this, but on the opposite side of the spectrum, you've got real short-term money, real degenerate. Can you 2x? Can you 3x? Can you 10x? And the gains, remember, are getting quicker and quicker because people are rotating into new coins constantly. And a $100 million pump now isn't crazy. But a month ago, a $100 million pump was like, wow, you chose the winning token that whole month. And so on the other side of the spectrum, you've got someone like Meegs. Now you can go follow Crypto Meegs if you want. I do really like his heuristics and his philosophies, and he's gone from 100 followers up to 4,500 followers. So he's quickly growing. He's opened a Telegram group. Let me tell you my honest thoughts about Meegs. And I talked to Meegs in Telegram and on Twitter. I do like him, but I will say his calls, if you're trying to trade money over the short term. Here he hit a 60x on RAI reploy from, he called it a $1.5 million market cap. Extremely impressive. He then called AUK. And once again, guys, these become self-fulfilling prophecies. So you can see he called AUK here. Look at this mega candle on that day that he called it, because people knew that he called reploy. And I believe it could have been a $2 or a $5-ish million market cap, and this thing skyrocketed. I believe it was a 2. I don't want to speak on it, actually. It doesn't really matter, but it's about a 5 to 10x that you could get over the short term. Now, it's had heavy pullbacks, which is what you can expect in these tokens, because no one really cares what AUK does. They're just trying to outrace and outtrade each other on these tokens, which I say, fair play. Everyone use the resources you got to be as early as possible. But I want you to know, if you're trading these tokens under the $10 million market cap sort of range, 90% of the time, make sure you know that they're in these short-term trade categories, because people are going to be rolling their money in and out. This is what Murad is saying. They want long-term, high-conviction colts of no one selling their money that has been around for 6 months, so that everyone who was going to paper hand it in the first place has sold and moved on. So nothing wrong with following Meegs, nothing wrong with the self-fulfilling prophecy of his calls doing 5 to 10x. Just know what market you're in when you're buying that sort of token. Now, I had a friend around who was in crypto in the last cycle and trying to get back into crypto in this cycle. And she was asking me, like, what's the best way at the moment to try and get ahead of everybody else trading? And based on all these crazy returns from literally this YouTube channel and you guys aping in after the token, because we are a step ahead of the mainstream, we're having massive effects on cryptos. And so for me, I'm even considering not trading cryptos I talk about, because it's awkward trying to take profits. It's like, I have a crypto that I really like, and say it's at a $50 million market cap. I'm like, yeah, this is a really cool one. I'm going to talk about it on the channel. I sort of want to sell it at like a $120, $150 million market cap. Talk about it on the channel. It degenerates, blow this thing up to a $150 million market cap. I'm like, oh, that's my exit price. But I can't sell because I just told you guys that this is a good buy, and you've got people buying in at the top, at the top, at the top. So I'm going to consider exactly how I need to play it and making sure I'm voicing to you maybe exit targets as I come into these projects. But there's two things I want to say on this. One, if this trend continues, my honest advice, if this wasn't my channel, I would say set push notifications for when I upload. And if the upload includes just one token that I'm talking about, that an influencer is behind us on, and we know that they're going to be more exit liquidity than this community, it has made historical sense in the last 2 weeks to find the token you talk about and get in before everybody else. Like, honestly, that was my advice, is set the alarm, wait for that video to drop and try and buy that token in the first 2 minutes. And in the last week, you would have done extremely well. Now, no pressure in doing this. If that's not the way you want to play it, totally fine. Go play it your way. But we've seen some insane gains on the tokens that we're talking about on this channel. But I just wanted to honestly put that out there because, guys, that is how cryptos go up and down. Find the strongest communities who are aping into tokens and making them self-fulfilling prophecies, and then it's getting out and out further and further. And these things are absolutely riding, and try and be as early as possible. The second thing, I want to talk about the longer term plays. This is Xborg, and I'm not saying this is longer term play, although I am invested in Xborg and I do like it as gaming infrastructure. Why I'm pulling up this graph here is because have a look at this. We were actually in the, well, I don't even know what you call it, the seed round for this. We put in money before the token came out, and you can see it started at 27 mil market cap, went up nicely to a 40 mil market cap, and then dropped off an absolute cliff down to 14 mil. These are the people who are trying to short-term trade cryptos. This big red candle is all those short-term traders taking profit. Again, nothing wrong with it. You need to know what sort of game you're in. However, the projects that are building excellent infrastructure and have really strong narratives and good brand deals and partnerships that are going to get put out there on socials, they're going to start accumulating. All the people are going to, like, it even got down to a $10 million market cap. All those people are eventually going to sell until there's no more sellers left. And then the narrative sticks, the promotion sticks, and it starts to turn around and do really well. So you can see this actually 7.5x from all-time lows. And this is what you want to be conscious of. The token you're getting into, is it a short-term play that you're going to try and beat everyone else in? Or is it a longer-term play and you're betting on it getting listed on a tier 1 centralized exchange and a mountain of exit liquidity coming in behind you? Make sure you label it as you're getting into one of the new tokens. And I told you I'd give you some tokens in here. I want to give you 3 longer term looking tokens. You've seen a couple of them before. Desync, now at a $500 million market cap. Alex Becker's #1 AI play. Crypto God John just bought more Desync, I think last week, to make it one of his biggest AI plays. Crypto God John was so right, guys. Mindshare for AI is at about 70%. And he was talking about this in late 2023. He was so early, it's insane. So if you're just getting into this market, no, you're not first in. But that's okay. You might be the middle person in it and still be able to get a nice 2, 3, 4x if this gets listed on Binance. If it doesn't, you might be the exit liquidity. The second one was the token I talked about yesterday. I'm trying to talk more about some longer term plays as well. I'm going to mix it up. We're going to have some short term, absolute chaotic fun, but I'm going to talk about more long term plays and infrastructure too. Play is one of those plays. I'm sure that was subconsciously planted in my brain here. At a $91 million market cap now, so not necessary to get in. This could do something like an Xborg and pull back, but this was one of ellio's highest convictions. He predicted a 15x multiple on something like this. Again, that was back here. It's probably a 7x multiple from here. Probably a lot of people who have profited down here are going to sell, and it's going to have a pullback just like Xborg. And I think this might do extremely well long term. Ellio says you can see it at $1 billion. I wouldn't be surprised if the gaming run comes, if the big Trump pump comes. This could be one of the higher performers. And then lastly, I'm going to cover more tokens like this as well. Now, I've been holding Open GPU since it was at 27 or 30, somewhere down here in the 30-cent range. And it did extremely well. Actually, took half my profit almost at Pico top, maybe not quite, maybe at $1.40, and then pulled back up and accumulated for a long time. This is when the market was going down in every other coin, and OGPU just kept building. Then you had rumors of a deployer wallet deploying money to Crypto God John, and this absolutely flew on that news. Again, a lot of people took profit. Had quite a big dip here as people took profits, and AI sort of faded out of the narrative. Didn't really fade out of the narrative, but a lot of people were taking profits on all AI tokens. It's had a nice steady pull up again, but this has been one of my longer term convictions where I haven't sold any since way back here. I'm going to continue to hold this, and in fact, it's one of my bigger holdings. Once Destra and PAL and OXO and all those really blue chip style AI tokens sort of get listed on those tier 1 centralized exchanges, by the way, if they get listed, I believe tokens like OpenGPU can do really well. To summarize, make sure you know what sort of play you're making when you're investing in tokens. There's a lot of money flying around at the moment. Memes and AI are so hot. We're going to continue to strive to make incredible YouTube videos for you to be as educated as possible. But once you're making your investment decisions, know, are you investing in a short-term profit? Are you holding for a long-term? Class the tokens that you're holding in, and I think you'll do extremely well. That's what I'm personally doing from now on. And lastly, if you've watched all the way to the end, the biggest tip I can possibly give you is get as educated as possible. This feels like child's play to me and my friend who I work out with. every day we're seeing plays that are so obvious, and we're making plays, and we're making a lot of money in this market, even without leveraging an audience. We're trading meme coins on the side, and we're getting these nice 2, 3, 5x's. And then we talk to someone on the street who's also in crypto who says the most wacky thing I've ever heard. I'm like, oh wow, they are why we're making money, is because most people don't actually know what they're doing, and because they make a nice 3 or 5 or 10x, their ego gets in the way a little bit, and they think they're a crypto pro when you're way better off. Go study the charts, go study Twitter, go study YouTube, go and make your own thesis on everything. Literally dedicate 3 hours a day. Just set the timer, turn your phone off, and study this, and you can do extremely well. That is my #1 heartfelt piece of advice for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.